chasing versus attraction. If you're an average guy, you're going to have to chase a lot of women in order to go on a date with them or sleep with them. What I mean by average is that you're not overweight, but you're not in shape. And you might think you have a style, but if no woman's complimented you on your outfit, then you most likely don't have a style. If your friends tell you, hey, you got some cool J's, or I like your hoodie, unless you're trying to attract men, that's not what I mean, right? If a woman has to compliment you on your outfit, on your style, then that is when you're going to have some sort of style. So if no woman's ever complimented you, then you are aware that you don't have a style. We're going based on the opposite sex if they find you attractive, because that's what you're going for. Even like I mentioned, even if your friends tell you something, it's not the case. If you're not making, 100 grand a year, 80 grand a year, let's assume you're making 40 grand a year, then you're average. Genetic wise, I'm not talking about you going to the gym and, getting in shape, but genetic wise, if you're, very short or you have busted teeth, those are just things you're born with. And there's nothing you can do about some of the genetics. Like if you're too short, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you have busted teeth, you could make more money and then get braces, crowns, veneers, etc. So you could fix that. So if you're average, you are going to have to be on dating apps and swipe a lot, DM a bunch of girls, but the return on your time is going to be very low if you're average, because you're competing with tons of other men. Online especially, there's a lot more competition than if you just go to a bar. So there's a lot more competition online. If you go to the bar, you're going to have to go up to a lot of girls in order to get someone to say yes and get their phone number and go on a date. Does not mean that you cannot do it, but it just means you're going to have to put in a lot of reps. And with the more reps you put in, though, the good thing is that if you learn from your mistakes is that you could get better. So even if you're average, it's okay. You could still improve yourself and get better in other areas. So the first part is you're just chasing women. The second part is you're going to attract women. It does not mean that once you get to a certain level that you don't have to try to talk to girls, but it just gets easier. You basically have to do less reps, less cold approaches, less DMs, less swipes, and you'll be able to acquire more dates and then sleep with more women. The first one, like I mentioned, is genetics. Guys, some of you guys are genetically gifted. You guys have good features. You're naturally a tall guy. If you are that, then you hit the lotto. You're good on the genetic part. Does not mean that you're automatically going to get girls, but you're a step ahead. And what I mean about, guys, you are better genetically is we're rating like on a 1 to 10 scale. So 5 being that you're average, right? From 1 to 10, 5 is the average number. If you are above a 5, that means you are above average, right? If you're a 6, you're above average. 7, you're better looking, etc., and etc. The next one is your physique. Genetics, you're blessed with. Your physique, you have to go to the gym. You have to eat the correct food. Here's where it takes discipline. And this is where you could be above average pretty easily. The average guy does not eat well. The average guy doesn't have the discipline to go to the gym. He'd rather go hang out with his boys, go watch a sports game. So here's where you have an advantage. Just by going to the gym and eating well and staying disciplined, you're going to get out of the average right there. So the first part was your genetics, which you cannot change. The second one is your physique. You could already be out of the average category just on the second step. Now, these steps that I'm telling you, it's not like they have to be in any order, but I'm just giving you the things that you're born with and the things you can work your way up to. The next one is your finances. Here again, maybe you grew up in a certain environment and you didn't have the same opportunity as someone who grew up in a different environment. That is okay. I grew up in an environment where it wasn't that great, but I just hang around different type of people, and that gave me opportunity to make more money. So your finances, you have to get them up. If you are making 40 grand a year, you better start making more money. It does not mean that you cannot go on a date with a girl if you're only making 40 grand. I was broke. When I was 18, 19, I made minimum wage, and I was able to go out with girls. But back then, I'm 36 now. Back then, you rarely hit up girls. Back then, I think it was MySpace or Facebook. You wouldn't really hit up girls like that online. You would go out to parties and you would just go through all the girls in the party, hit them up, try to dance with them, try to get their phone number. So it does not mean that if you're making 40 grand a year that you cannot go out with girls. But it is a lot harder to compete now because most girls are on social media now. It's not like before. So you do have to get your money up. The phrase is, right, girls want to have fun. You need to have money in order to have fun. If you're making 40 grand, paying your rent, your car insurance, your bills, wardrobe, you're going to be left with very few money left. So you have to get your money up. Guys, now with social media, with YouTube, you can find ways to make money. It's never been easier to make money, but it's also never been easier to get distracted. It is very hard. Even for me, sometimes I get a notification on Instagram, friends are DMing you. I literally have to sometimes just close the app because if I go on the app, you're going to get distracted. So it's simple to get your finances up. You just have to search for it. You're a man. It is your job to search opportunities for you to make more money. It's nobody else's job. It's not the government's job. It's not your family's job. If you're 18 years old or older, it is your job and your duty to make more money. So the next one is style. Like I mentioned, style is when a woman compliments you, then you know you have some form of style. You could be in shape, you could have good genetics, you could be making money. But if you don't have style, it could obviously affect you. It does not mean that if you don't have style, you cannot get girls. That's not what it means. But what I'm telling you is you want to be well-rounded. You want the path of least resistance to acquire that phone number or that date. You have to upgrade your style. You have to know how to put a good outfit together. It has to be tailored to you too. If you go to the mall and you buy a certain outfit, obviously you try to get it as close to your body type as possible, but then you're gonna have to go maybe to a tailor and tailor some things. This shirt, when I bought it, it was too big. I had to get it tailored. I might still have to get it a little tailored. It's a little long, right? If you're working out, you do want your shirt to be a little bit shorter, right? Right now I'm letting you know that even I have to finish tailoring this. Why do you want to make it shorter? If you're working out, obviously your bicep is bigger up here than down here, right? Here, if it's covering it, I'll show you an example. Here you might think like, oh, all right, he doesn't really work out. And I'm not saying that I'm buff, but if you put it up here, especially if you're out at a bar, this is gonna make a big difference of your sleeve being up here instead of down here. So obviously, get a good outfit, get it tailored. It's very important that you do that. A good outfit, even if it's not an expensive shirt, an expensive suit, if you get it tailored, it just makes it look so much better, makes it look more expensive. It's important that you do that. Also, putting the correct color combination together. An example, obviously this is pretty easy because the shirt will tell you what colors it goes with, right? It has the purple violet color. It has like a white and a light brown color. So I match it with a dark brown watch, some chinos, and my shoes here that go with the color. So it's pretty simple. The shirt will kind of tell you what colors it'll go with. Just don't go crazy and wear like, try to match 6 different colors. 3, 4 colors, 5 maximum. But I would stick with minimum 2, 3 or 4. You also got to be able to dress accordingly. If you manage to get a girl's phone number and you're going on a date, don't wear a suit to the first date. It depends where you're going, right? And depends, let's say you're going to a bar. You got to know what type of bar is it so you can know what outfit to put together. Some guys go to bars that look pretty nice and they go dressing like they're in a hip hop video. You got to know how to dress accordingly. The next one is game or being able to talk to women. Here is where you got to be charming, know when to be funny, know when to be smooth talking them. This takes practice. Now, some of you guys might be a natural, but a lot of people, if you're average, you're not going to be very good at this, but you have to go through the repetitions. You hear people say, in order for you to attract girls, you shouldn't talk to any girls, just work on yourself, right? Make money, go to the gym. I don't believe that. You should be doing all of those things, but at the same time, talking to women. Doesn't mean you have to go on a date with them. Doesn't mean you have to go to a bar and talk to women. But in your day-to-day, if you're walking somewhere through the mall, coffee shop, you could just practice by just making simple eye contact with a girl. And if she smiles, just smile back. If you're nervous talking to girls, just do those simple steps first. Work your way up, but don't completely stop talking to women because someone tells you that you should just improve your physique and make money. Don't do that. The more money, if you do that, you just make a bunch of money and you get jacked, then you're still going to be awkward around women. So what you want to do is, from the beginning, you do everything at the same time. It's not hard. And like I mentioned, you don't have to try to be very smooth with girls. Just start with the basics, just with a simple smile. Then obviously from there, you start gaining more confidence and you just get better talking to girls. So the point of this video is for you not to be average and improve yourself with these details. Follow these steps and improve yourself. That way you build your confidence, and this way you have to do less reps in order to acquire that girl and eventually sleep with her or make her your girlfriend. Who knows, or you might meet your wife, right? Improving yourself, you might end up building a family. But if you just want to use this to improve your game and go out and date women, go ahead and do that. Guys, like the video, subscribe, share with someone that you know who could benefit from this information.